Very good morning to everyone. As part of our C# learning journey, today we are going to discuss about our next topic. Our next topic is loops. What does it mean by loop? We have to know reason why we require loop. Loop helps to execute fragment of source code repeatedly. So when you write program for real-time application, you have to repeat certain things again and again. Example, monitoring of ambient temperature, right? Monitoring vehicle speed, monitoring the target vehicle, right? Measuring the fuel flow. So like that, we are doing certain things again and again and again in order to control systems or in order to control the process. Right now, it is required sometimes to repeat certain thing again and again. In those cases, when you want to automate those things using programming, we require loops, right? The loops helps to execute a set of instruction and then again and again, right? Right. There are certain loops which execute forever, indefinitely. These loops are called as infinite loops, right? So all your embedded programs that we write for real-time applications are infinite loop. They used to do the task regularly, repeatedly, again and again and again, as long as there is a power and the system is up and running, right? As long as they do that, they used to repeat things. This is called as infinite loop. The other loops that we have is like loop with condition. The loop execution is controlled by a condition. As long as the condition is true, the loop will be executed. The moment the condition fails, they will come out from the loop. Right. So the loop execution is based on certain condition. Right. So the next thing is, so when you want to do such a thing like running a loop based on condition, you require a control variable. Initially, you have to initialize that control variable. Then you have to check whether the control variable meets the condition, right? Whether it meets the condition. And then if it meets the condition, you have to do your repeated action. Right. When you do that repeated action, at the end of your repeated action, you should also modify your control variable. Usually people used to increment or decrement the control variable so that they can when they want to check the condition at one point of time, the modification that they create in the body of the loop will make the condition to fail. When the condition fails, automatically they will come out from the loop. This is another way of controlling the loop. Right. When the loop is running, you can even break the loop, means like abort the loop when certain condition is met. For that, you can use the instruction break. Using break, you can break loops. Usually we use breaks in switch cases based on our previous lessons to separate. That means to come out from a switch block. Right now, after executing a case, to come out from the switch block, we use breaks. Break, right? The same break is used here to abort the loop, to come out from the loop. So the break statement will break the loop in which it is called. So see, you have loops inside a loop. That means inner loops. When you call the loop in which you call the break, no, only that they will abort only that loop when you call break statement. So the loop which is outside your inner loop will run. All right. So it is not like break will break all the loops in which it resides, right? Not like that. It will only break the loop which is very near to it or in which it is called. Right. So that you have to remember with respect to brake. Next, examples for loops. There are different loops, right? These loop keywords exist in every programming language starting from C. They are while, do while, for, like that, right? While is very first one, right? So the while will check for a condition within a bracket. If the condition is true, it will execute the body of the loop. The moment condition fails, it will come out from the loop. Right. So in order to use while loop, you need to have a control variable and you have to initialize that control variable with some initial value. Right. So that you have to do an initialization that you have to do outside the while loop. So it is not the part of your body. Initialization should not be done in loop body. You have to do that outside the body of loop, right? You have to do the initial. Then you have to check the condition. The condition, you can use a relational operator to check the condition. If the condition is true, they will execute the body of the loop. Within the body of the loop, you have to modify your control variable. Maybe you will increment or decrement. You should not control the variable outside your loop body in while loop. If you do so, your loop will execute forever because controlling of your variable is part of your loop body in while loop, right? No, so you have to do that every iteration. You have to modify it. Either you have to increment or decrement, like that, right? No, so while as long as your control variable meets the condition and it makes the condition to true, they will execute the loop body. The moment the condition fails, they will come out from the loop body. This is how the while loop used to execute. So let me uh, define. There are three important points in while loop. One is you need to have a variable, control variable, and how to initialize it outside the while loop. Then you have to check the condition within the parenthesis while. Then within the body of the loop, you will modify your control variable. Either you will increment or decrement, right? So these are the key things to execute the loop. Perfect execution of while loop require these three key points. Then we have a do while. Do while is 100% same that of the while. Whatever that we used to do in while loop, we also do in do while. Only thing is the body of the loop will execute at least one time in do while. In while, so if the condition fails, even at least one time, your body of the loop will not, they will not execute body of the loop, right? If the condition fails in the very initial time itself. But do while is not like that. They will execute the body of the loop first, and then they will modify the control variable within the body. After that, they will check the condition at the end. If the condition is true, they will go and repeat the action. So this is required sometime. Example, you want to display a menu to the user for selection. If he doesn't select anything, just come out. If he makes some selection, after making a selection, you again show him the menu for the second selection. Like that, as long as he select, you show the menu. So you cannot achieve that via while, because while initially it will check the condition. But the do while, initially it will do the action. That means it will display the menu and then it will wait for user action. The moment he selects certain things, right? So it will repeat. If he doesn't select anything, it will simply come out from the loop, right? So it's in that way. So the do while and while are same. It requires while and do while require a initialization outside the body of the loop, right? They need a control variable as well, right? they used to repeat, they used to modify the control variable within the body of the loop, right? They also used to check the condition. So both are same. Only thing is, in do while, at least one time you will execute the body of the loop. In while, it is not like that. Always while the loop body of while loop will execute only when the condition is true. It is in that way, right? So then we have, initially we discussed about why. We do have another looping statement called for. In for, your initialization and condition and iteration, all three things are aligned in a single line. Usually, if in while loop, people used to make mistakes. Sometimes they will forget to do the initialization. Sometimes they will forget to modify the control variable, right? So like that, they used to commit mistakes. But in for loops, all these three key things are arranged in a single line. They are separated by a comma so that the possibility of error is less. In the initialization section, you can do your initialization. Condition section, you can check the condition. In iteration section, you can control or modify your control variable, right? The for loop flow is like this. They will initially execute the initialization, then they will go for a condition. If the condition is true, they will execute body, and then they go for iteration. In iteration only, they used to control your control variable or modify your control variable. After modification, they will check for the condition. If the condition is true, they will execute the loop body. They won't go for initialization. The initialization is done at the very beginning. That's all. After that, only the condition and iteration. If the condition is true, they will execute the loop body. If condition fails, they will come out from the loop. Right? It is in that way. The for each is very special in C sharp. I think it is there in C sharp. It is not there in C and C++. Here, you can navigate through a collection using for each loop. For each variable in the collection, each entity in the collection, you can execute a list of statements. This is a different flavor in for, right? That we have in C sharp, right? That's all about the looping statement in C sharp, right? What are the things that we saw? While, do while, for, and for each. There are some more things as well. So these are primary. Let us discuss them. Right. Then we have a problem statement here. Usually we used to try what we learn in every video session, right? Now, here we have a problem statement in front of us. The problem statement says like we have to create 10 different vehicle speeds using while loop, and we have to print the generated vehicle speed on the screen. That is the task. We have to do that. Right. So let us do the programming. Here you go. I am in my working directory and I am creating a C# file called gen vehicle speed. Right. I'm going to write programs in this file. First thing is we have to include the library, system library, using system, then class, then speed, then we need a rider variable equal to 0. Then we have to write our while loop, how to print. So right line generated samples, or we are writing in header here. Then while rider is less than 10, because we are going to create 10 different sample here. Right. Then while rider is less than thing, we have to create a random number. For random number, we have to create a random object. Random is we have to create an instant for random. R&D will equal to new random of this random object is part of this system library. So this is the syntax to declare it. After doing it, I need to declare a sample as well. I need a variable to store generated sample to 0. Right. Then sample equivalent to R&D dot next of 0 comma 250. 0 comma 250 is the range of vehicle speed. Right. Then we print that sample console right line percentage D. No, I think it is we have to use the indexing component. All right. Slash n. Right. So here sample. Right. Then we have to modify our rider variable. Rider plus equal to 1. Right. I believe the program is ready now. That is what told here. Create 10 different vehicle speed using while loop and print them on the screen. So let us run the program. Okay, I think we have some issue. Probably we didn't call the main. Yes, we didn't do that. Right. We have to write it part of static void main of. Right. This is important. I believe maybe because this random object will create a number in integer, but our sample is of type short. So I'm doing a typecasting here, explicit typecasting. After doing it, we simply run it. Right? It's compiled now. Right. I'm running it. So I'm getting 10 different vehicle speed here. All right. I don't think we require this new line because we are using right line now. Automatically, they will add a new line. Right. That's all. So our program is working. Now I'm going to modify this program to using do while. So same thing here, instead of while we need to have do here, do, then here while rider is less than 10. Right, that's it. So let us see the result now. So we get same result, 10 different vehicle speed, right? So the next thing is converting this into for. Converting this to for is very easy. So let me comment this and then we can do initialization here itself. So rider is equal to 0, rider less than 10, rider plus plus. So modifying that to for is very simple. We bring the rider here and the condition here, and then our iteration here. We don't need to have iteration as part of body of loop, and we also don't need this one. So everything perfect now. Let us check whether it is doing. So we get the same result. Right now, this is how we have to use loops in C#. I think we explored the different types of loop that we have in C#. Like we will explore other things in upcoming session. Okay, team. That's all for today. Let me catch you with more detail in upcoming session. Thank you. Thank you for watching.